This was torture, this was abuse. My nephew was on the brink of death.
These two people are in jail tonight, charged with felony child abuse, and a 17-year-old's in a local hospital after nearly dying. His body is covered in bruises, cuts, scars, and his face is nearly unrecognizable. This is Fox 4 News at 10 o'clock. I'm Kevin Barry.
And I'm Bria Love. That teenager now in the fight of his life. In a story you'll only see on Fox 4, his aunt is sharing the gripping details of how this teen was finally freed from what he had been put through. Fox 4's Malik Jackson live at the Jackson County Courthouse tonight, where these adults will soon face charges for abuse. Malik, this is so disturbing. We actually had to blur some of the images.
And Kevin, doctors told the boys this is the worst case of child abuse they've ever seen. Police say that there's evidence that this teenage boy was tied up and beaten so badly that he's now on a ventilator. This family desperately praying that he pulls through. This as investigators say that one of the defendants admitted that the abuse had been going on for at least 6 months.
If people were to see my nephew in person, you would have to be inhumane not to cry. And just viewing his body, it did not look like that of someone who's living.
James Griffin and Penny Woods now charged with abuse or neglect of a child, causing serious emotional or physical injury. These crimes said to have taken place at this Raytown home. In a probable cause statement obtained by Fox 4, investigators explain in great detail what this 17-year-old endured. He showed up to the hospital Friday, his body covered in cuts, bruises, and abrasions, one of his ears nearly swollen shut due to an infection. He was missing nearly all of his teeth. Doctors noticed the teen had an altered mental state. He was malnourished, was suffering from hypothermia, a fracture in his spine, second-degree burns to his forehead. Fluid had built up in his lungs. He showed signs that he had been tied up at some point, and his shoulder blades in such bad shape that doctors told police they had only seen that in high trauma cases, such as a high-speed car crash.
And you look on the news and you see that happen to people outside in these other cities, and you're like, man, that wouldn't happen in Kansas City. I just think of these two criminals. They're disgusting, despicable people.
Now, to be clear, these two people are not these teens' parents. The reason that they took custody of him and his sister was because their mother was dealing with an addiction problem. Both Penny Woods and James will be back in court on June 12th for a bond review hearing. The prosecutor's office here in Jackson County says more charges are possible. As for this teenager, he is still in the hospital, but he's slowly turning the corner. Today, he spoke his first words since being in the hospital, and he will celebrate his 18th birthday next week. As for his sister, she's currently with Dee Porter, her aunt, and she is doing the very best that she can.
Wow, Malik, such a hard story to hear, so you can imagine how that aunt feels about her nephew. Malik Jackson live for us tonight. Malik, thank you.